So nothing better than getting one from the pros. So here's the scenario. We got declared a close yesterday. Steve proactively or prematurely went over the closing statement, the closing disclosure with the client to close tomorrow. The realtor just called and said, I don't see my fee on there. And we said, how much is your fee? She said, originally I told the clients I was going to charge them 4% if the seller didn't pay any amount, but that I would earn at least 3.5%. So the seller is now paying 2.5%, and it's our job after the client has sent her wire to tell her she's got to come up with about $5,600 more. She has the money, so the money's not an issue. I don't want to say it like that.
But yeah, sure. It's always I saw the paperwork and the paperwork said $5,600 less than that.
Yeah. She didn't see the paperwork from the title company. And I always tell my loan consultants to make sure when it's not balanced, to communicate it's not balanced and make sure you say, Dan, do you understand that's not balanced? And when you say yes, you say, what does that really mean? The title company
Right. So
hasn't finalized the numbers, so the numbers can change.
So when we're going to, let's start with the B and the bring it to life, blow it up. What is, you know what, from us, we can actually start in the middle. What's the resolution? Like just before we construct the first part, what did you guys do and what's the outcome going to be?
Oh, they just put the $5,500 on the closing statement, and it's 50 almost $5,600 more.
So it was though going to be 4% and now it's
It,
3.5%.
it
So
4% from the buyer. Now it's only going to be 1% from the buyer, which is how I
got,
was going to bring it up. Remember when you signed this
yeah,
document with the realtor and she told you if the seller is going to not pay, you're going to pay 4%, which equals
yes.
$27,000.
Is that the number you think?
It is
27,000? Yeah.
5,500
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
4%. I'm
Yeah.
just giving you a good
Yeah. Yeah.
5,550. I'll tell you the number. Just a good guess. 22,000. Okay.
22,000. Okay, so now let's do the B part. Remember when and you had your conversation with your real estate agent who said that if the seller didn't pay that you were going to be responsible for the 4%. So walk me through that part of it. Make me feel it.
Oh, Dan. Marcia
Yeah.
is her name. Marcia.
Marcy, yeah.
Remember when we first started this process, you met with us in our initial consultation, and the realtor met with you, and you signed the buyer's agreement that said that you were going to be responsible for paying 4% of the real estate commission in the event the sellers were not going to pay.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I know you got the numbers yesterday, but because we're able to negotiate and you're working with a realtor on our team that works closely with us, we were able to bring down that number to 55 from 22,000 to $5,500.
Okay, so for those of you in the audience, estimate how much time elapsed between the time that Reggie brought up the idea of 4% and $22,000 and when he alleviated it down to 1% at $5,500. About how much time do you think went by? 30
7 seconds.
seconds? Yeah, somewhere between that, 7 seconds and 30 seconds. That's the right amount of time. The way that Reggie delivered that, we're not trying to make him like have a hard episode in front of us, but it's enough for me to register and start doing that own math in my head of the 4%. So somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds, that's enough. We're not trying to torture them.